I am joined by Nigel Benn at the Matchroom Elite Gym in, I think it's Brentwood or Romford?
Brentwood, just stick with Brentwood.
Stick with Brentwood. First of all, mate, how are you?
I'm good, bro. You?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. And thank you for giving me your time today.
Yeah, no worries.
Obviously, kind of Tony Sims' gym and the Matchroom gym flying at the moment. Obviously, the most recent two performances, obviously John Ryder's win against Zach Parker, and then George.
Well, let me just. Only thing I'm going to say first before we get there.
Oh, cool.
Everybody in this gym is drug free. That's I just want to let you know that it's the clean gym. Tony's been doing it for nearly 25 years. And like his gym's just been clean. He's a great trainer. The people here, just like they're dedicated at what they do, mate. So I just want to get that point across.
Of course, and no, we'll echo that sentence as well. Obviously, Tony put out a statement, everything like confirming everything like that.
100%. I've known Tony before Conor was born. That's how long I've known Tony. I used to spar with Tony.
How did those spars go?
You know where. Sorry, Tony.
Perfect. Yeah, go back to the two performances. Obviously, John Ryder's win, confirming his mandatory position over Zach Parker.
Listen. It's so funny. John is so much of what a good man he is. I've got time for John, and as much as I've got time for Callum Smith, who I think was a good fighter. But on that night, John won that fight, and the purse that he got for Canelo should have been with John. And there's not been no disrespect to Callum, because I think he's a great fighter. I like him so much. He's like one of my kind of heroes in the British scene. I really like him. But that night was John's night, and it was so wrong that how they got it so terribly wrong.
And do you think...
Get back to the fight against Parker. I actually thought it was going to be a tough fight, but I actually saw him gassing after the second, third. He was sucking up big time, and John was just moving. John was coming on, and John was hitting him, and I know that he felt John's power. And he said he done his wristing, but you know what it is. I don't care if I've got one hand and I've got an opportunity to fight Canelo Alvarez. Oh my gosh, I'm going in there. I'm going to carry on until I can't do it no more unless the referee stops the fight. But good luck to John, mate, and I just pray to the Lord that what he missed out with Callum Smith, that he'll make up fighting Canelo.
Does that fight need to be at the Emirates for John against Canelo?
I don't care where it is. It could be in the loo room. I don't care, in the toilet, whatever. I just want John to have a good fight, mate, and earn a good payday, which he should do. Just got so much respect for him. What a lovely man.
But it's a tough fight. Obviously, everyone was saying that about kind of John going into the Callum Smith fight as well. So anything can happen.
Yeah. And I'm sorry to say that I thought Callum will win, but being honest with you, I was so wrong, because he's like 6'3" or something. He's like a giant, but John just went for him. So so John, but he's just having that opportunity. That is, it's not about me winning. I just don't see John's life secured, mate. That's what I would like to see. Him get a good payday. He deserves one.
He definitely does. And obviously the second performance on the Dylan White undercard was George Liddard's debut as well. Obviously, everyone's singing his praises.
George,
it was a great.
George, mate. George turned straight. George turned straight, because usually George, hi, hello, yeah. You ain't seen the best of me yet, mate. Trust me. What? George, you turned straight on me? So we have a good laugh, mate. What a lovely man. Love George. And
during his performance as well, he's kind of like stalking down his opponent, kind of eventually getting things. How quickly do you think kind of Tony, Kevin, kind of Eddie will move George kind of in the pressure range?
I just think they just got to take his time. But you watch the fight, he was just like, he's like an old pro. He was taking his time, he wasn't rushing in, and he caught him with a wicked right uppercut at the end, mate, to just seal the fight, mate. Yeah, I thought he'd done really well. What a lovely guy. He will get honours. In boxing.
Definitely, I think kind of Eddie tweeted after his performance, rising star for sure, and everything like that. So it's guaranteed. I agree
with Eddie. I think, mate, he's going to go place as long as he keeps his feet firmly on the ground and continue to dedicate himself to his training as he does, mate. Which I don't see no fault. Look, he's already in the gym. What was it? A week ago or something? He's already back in the gym. It's a dedication for you.
100% as well. I think that kind of echoes everyone within the Matchroom gym. Kind of, you see I see on Tony's Instagram, your Instagram, everyone else is here. Kind of everyone's a big family in here. Everyone kind of trains all together.
Well, I think that's what I love about Matchroom. Everybody watch everybody. How every fighter just goes around and say hi, morning, but touch glove. Everybody speaks to everybody, which is nice, mate, which is a nice family feeling.
Perfect. And kind of, obviously, you've known, as you said, you've known Tony for years. You've sparred him. Kind of, I remember him saying, I think it was after Felix's fight against on the Jacobs Ryder undercard. I got a bit upset when he was asked about Tony being a father figure, kind of in the gym. How important do you think that is for Tony to kind of have that presence in the gym as well?
So it's big. It's big, but Tony has let a lot of fighters off. He said that, I think we should part company. Tony wants people here that are going to train and be dedicated, not play around. Tony wants real fighters in there that are hungry. Tony's a dedicated a trainer. He spends his time. He lives in the gym. So the same way that Tony lives in the gym, he wants his fighters to live in the gym. If they don't train, sorry mate, just ain't really working out, mate. But I wish you all the best, and he lets them go. And that's Tony, dedicated. He wants people to be dedicated at what he does. I love what Tony does. Because when I first Conor came first with Tony, when he had his first fight, he was doing a lot of slapping. I thought, oh man, he's Tony the best thing for him. And then watch how he's progressed under Tony because he's listening to what he's just gone to another level. I couldn't see anybody else training Conor like how Tony does. He's dedicated with the guys out there running, doing the road work, doing the weight session, everything. He's got a good team around him, Conor, with Tony and Dan and all that, and the physician and everything. Yeah, brilliant team.
Perfect. And kind of obviously we see you kind of in and around the gym when you're based in the UK and everything like that. Kind of, what would you say? Obviously, and you yourself, you're a legend of British boxing. I'll say it if you won't, Nigel. But
Thank you.
What would you say the main piece of advice you give anyone from George coming and Maisie just turning over, kind of professional, but then also to kind of Joe Cordina and John Ryder at world level? Kind of, what would you say the one piece of advice you've given them, or kind of guidance you've given them, is whilst being in the gym with them?
Be honest with you. What's the name again? Say?
Regan.
Yeah. Regan, you know what? I don't have to. I see it in all of them. I don't have to tell them absolutely nothing. I watch. I just watch, but don't say nothing. Watch how they dedicate. I was telling George, just sit your body, put your body weight behind it. But he's learning, so it's little things, very minute things. That's it. But you like as you said, you watch George. Dedicated. They're all dedicated at what they do. So I can't fault them. If they ever wanted advice, I'm here for them. But I watch them. I just watch them, and I don't see really much fault in them because they're just going to progress as they go on, and they're learning good from Tony.
Perfect. And kind of my final question, Nigel, if that's okay. Yeah. What does boxing mean to you?
Really, nothing. I'm not being horrible because I've had a full career. I love the sport, but I mean it's not something where there's more to life than boxing. I don't mean that because I've been there, and what I mean is like because I've burnt the candle at both ends, you kind of think to yourself, all right, you know what, it's what's attached to it, that fame and fortune. There's the other side of the coin as well. So I just love training. I'm dedicated at training at nearly 59, but I love it, but it's not everything to me. I love my son. I love watching all the fighters, but it's just part of life where I can, I don't want to run down boxing, but it's just like where I've done everything. I've done everything. What does it mean to me? I don't know. Just like to watch the fighters, but it doesn't mean I don't want to kind of I think because I've had it hard.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We're not talking about the boxing. I love the training, I love the dedication, but I think because that party life is attached to the boxing, it kind of leaves you kind of think, okay, right. Because I can't think, I enjoyed the fighting, but what was it linked to? If you understand what I mean.
The highs coming with the lows.
Yeah, 100%. The world title, the partying, the affairs and everything. So it's kind of hard to kind of match it all out. You know what I mean? If you understand what I mean.
No. I'd like to think I can even begin to understand kind of where it is, but no, I think you put it perfectly. And Nigel Benn, thank you for giving me your time.
God bless you, Regan. God bless you, mate.
Thank you very much.
Take care.
You too.